we are starting. We are in Winter Haven, Florida. My name is Heidi Ellsworth. This is CoatingsTalk from the Coatings Coffee Shop and overall the coffee shops. In fact, we're also live on YouTube from Roofer's Coffee Shop. So you can find us a lot of different ways right this second. But I tell you what, this is our first live audience CoatingsTalk, and it's all because of Polyglass. Polyglass has sponsored this. They brought the coffee shops to Winter Haven to their Poly School training. One of 2 or 3, we'll hear about that, training facilities that they have around the country. You're in for a treat today. So remember, this is being recorded and it will be available on demand within the next 24 to 48 hours. Please share it. This is the stuff that makes the industry great. This is real people doing amazing jobs every single day that we want to highlight, and we want to share that out. So also, the chat is open. Megan's going to be monitoring that chat, and I mean, you can ask questions through that, either on YouTube or on Zoom. If it's a little slow getting back to you, don't worry. We'll follow up and make sure you get it. We also have, like I said, a live audience of women professionals. Yeah. It's so exciting. And they are going to be asking questions too as we go along. So let's get started. And of course, what we want to do is start with some introductions because we have amazing guests today. We're going to start down here with Kelsey. Kelsey, welcome to the show. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do with Polyglass?
Absolutely. My name is Kelsey Archer. I've been with Polyglass as a sales rep for about 5 years. I've been in the roofing industry 15 years, and I cover the Central Florida, East Coast, down to the Keys.
Yeah, and you have a background in engineering, right?
I do, yeah. So in a prior life, I was a consultant, building envelope consultant.
That is the kind of what we're seeing, experience, just knowledge and wisdom that we've been experiencing all day. This is just kind of the frosting on the day, let me tell you. And Allie, speaking of amazing experience, Allie, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Allie Spengler. I'm District Sales Manager for Southwest Florida here at Polyglass. I've been with Polyglass about 10 years now. I'm very happy to be here. I'm excited that you guys are here and our live audience.
Yeah, no, and you've worked on both the manufacturer rep side and now full-time as a full-time employee with Polyglass. So you've really seen the whole 9 yards.
I have, yeah. I actually started my roofing career with a roofing contractor and then got into manufacturing.
Yeah,
it's been a wild ride.
I love it. I love it. But no better place to take that ride than in roofing.
Absolutely.
That's what I say. And Marie, who's responsible for getting us here. Thank you. Can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Marie Ferrer. I am the National Technical Training Manager for Polyglass. I'm in charge of Poly School, which we're here today. I've been in roofing for about 3.5 years and learning every day something new. So it's never boring.
No,
that's for sure.
It's always fun. Roofing.
Absolutely.
3 years. I tell you, you never leave. It's like Hotel California.
I
Right?
know.
That's just how it is. And Henry, so first of all, we have these 2 amazing gentlemen who are hanging out with all these women. They're probably the luckiest guys in the world as far as I'm concerned. So Henry, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do with Polyglass.
Well, my name is Henry Rivas. I'm the National Technical Manager for membranes. We the warranties and trainings throughout the country.
I love it. And last but certainly not least, Gianluca, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Gianluca. I'm the Southeast Florida Tech Rep. So I cover the Southeast of Florida. Again, as Henry said, we do demos at the contractor shop, at the ABC branch, or any distributor. And nothing. We are excited to do this demo today here. We're gonna show some new products and some installation details.
It's so great. So Henry and Gianluca are going to get ready because they are going to be handling our demos today and showing us all coming out of Polyglass for not only you as a live audience, but for you out there in virtual land and our live audience. I have to get used to that. So gentlemen, we'll have you back in just a few. Okay. So, and if I want to recognize, we're in Florida. It's rather warm. So I want to say thank you to everyone out here for being out in the warm, although you are all used to it. So, but I think you're also used to the air conditioning from what I've seen. Yes. So thank you very much. We wanted to start with some questions, and we just want to be able to talk to Marie, find out, and Allie and Kelsey, and talk about Poly School and find out a little bit more. So,
Okay.
Marie, actually, I've worked with Polyglass in the past. I'm very proud of that, having been with so many of the probably OGs of roofing and Polyglass. And Poly School was something that was always talked about. Everyone wanted it, and you really came along. I know it was here before you, but you've really taken it to that next level. Can you tell us about the origins of Poly School and kind of what it is?
Well, Poly School, the objective of Poly School is to share best practices and really train on the Polyglass products, but also share best practices on installation, on thoughts, ideas, new innovative products. So it's to really educate anyone that comes across any of their products, to be honest.
And you bring people here from all over the country, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. We have people from California, from Arizona, everywhere. We have Winter Haven is our main Poly School unit, but we have a new one in Waco, Texas.
I can't wait to see that one.
The bigger one too. And training is our passion.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that everything is translated into you being able to apply what you're doing.
You know, I'm kind of like today seeing all the locations and everywhere that Polyglass is, I'm kind of doing a little passport to click off the places I've been. So I'm working on it. I've got Hazleton, Fernley, and now Winter Haven. So we're getting there. Ladies, you every day are out in the field working with contractors, working with all of these amazing women in roofing and their businesses. Many women owners are here today. It's just very inspiring. How important is this kind of education in Poly School to what you do every day?
So I think for the sales team, this has become an extension of us, right? Because the reality is in many cases, there's multiple reps within a rep group, or there's one of us on the road. Having the ability to have customers come here and get a full product offering, get to touch the products, get to learn and get to network with one another, it's invaluable for us.
It is so. And Kelsey, how about you? How are you using Poly School with your customers?
Yeah, I agree with everything Ali said. I think it's critical in educating how to use these products. I mean, we're constantly rolling out new products. We have to learn how to install them or they're not going to work properly. So it's critical.
Well, and I think one of the things we heard today too was a number of the attendees were saying, how do I know about all these new systems, right? How do I hear about all these new systems? And of course I said, oh, check the coffee shops. But I think this is really one of those things that allows people to see what's happening, what's new, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there's so many modes of communication now, but ultimately face-to-face it's still authentic. That's what we want to do. And that's what we do here at Poly School.
Put it together. So Marie, I think it's brilliant that Polyglass brought you in
3.5 years.
3.5 ago. Because your whole career has been around adult education, right? So what is the philosophies of Poly School on how to learn and how has that kind of been a mission of yours?
Oh, okay, that's a big one. So we as adults, we learn by doing a lot, hands-on. So with the philosophy that we practice in Poly School, it's a tell, show, do, apply methodology. The trainer will tell you about it. They will show you, you're going to see today, but we also want you to participate and do and practice and get feedback. You'll get immediate feedback at that point, and then take that learning back to your job sites and apply it. So the tell, show, do, apply methodology is what we use. You're never bored.
I love it. I love that philosophy of tell and show and apply, because I like to get my hands into things, and that's the way I understand best. So being able to put that together. How about you have a lot of ways, and in fact, I'm going to take this over to Ali and Kelsey too. There's a lot of ways for the industry to get education from Polyglass. It's not just here at Poly School. What are some of the things?
Oh, online, we have virtual training sessions that we do. We also have our YouTube channel called Polyflix, highly recommend. That'll give you a lot of installation tips, to videos, time trials. We have Poly Schools. We do on-site demos. We do in-office lunch and learns and education, whether it be through distribution consultants, roofing contractors.
We just give a shout out to marketing, because Polyflix is Poly Flix. lovers. And so you can see all these YouTube because everybody YouTubes, right? Everybody looks at the videos. They're all there for Polyglass. It's so strong. And when we're talking about technical, Kelsey, there's a lot of training out there or just a lot of things that they can get for continuing education on the technical side, right?
For sure. I mean, we just wrapped up the FRSA show in Orlando. They have a ton of classes. Polyglass does them themselves, but I highly encourage getting involved in these industry groups as well to learn about that.
Yeah, I think we formed a group here today. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna be hanging out and talking to each other. Okay, last question before we get on to the demos, because I know everybody wants to get to the demos, but I'm always full of questions. We have a labor shortage. And we have a large labor shortage in the roofing industry. A lot of us are wondering, how do we get this next generation? How do we retain our good employees? Marie, what are some of the things that continuing education and poly school in general does to help with the labor shortage and to end retention?
Well, absolutely. Cross-training is a key. You know, it's not just starting in roofing. We also train on waterproofing. We train on all sides of the building. So it's a deal one person to be, that well-rounded, and you're able to optimize that person to in any way you want. But cross-training is the key.
And don't you feel that a big part of, and we talked about this today, you guys all were really so eloquent in how you're saying is that continuing education, being able to be in this forum today with all women and be able to really feel freedom in asking all kinds of questions. I asked some questions on the plant tour and I'm thinking they're going to think I'm a dork, but I didn't care because I felt comfortable and I was really curious. How does that help retention when from what you are all seeing in the field with contractors, that the empowerment of continuing education?
Well, I think as humans, we always want to continue learning, right? So this creates a space where while you're continuing to learn, you're challenging yourself, you're being challenged by others.
Yeah.
So that retention comes from every day it's something new.
Yeah. And it keeps people wanting to stay with
Absolutely.
the company and being appreciated. Because I also heard some of that today, that we have some amazing talent here and the labor shortage. If you're not appreciating who you have in your office and not treating them correctly, guess what? There's a lot of jobs out there. So I think sending people to continuing education, to poly school, to do these kind of things. I see a whole group here from one company. I see all kinds of different companies. That is critical to really having people be excited and wanting to stay in roofing, which we need everybody to stay in roofing. We don't want you to be plumbers or electricians. I mean, that's fine, but stay in roofing. Okay, the fun part. The fun part of this whole thing is getting our hands dirty. So before we bring the demo crew on, first of all, I want to check any questions. Okay, any questions on coming online, Megan? Okay, I know everybody just wants to get there. So we're going to move over here and we're going to be the commentary, like the sportscasters that you all don't like. And John, Luca, and Henry are going to come out here and they're going to start their demo. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Okay, well, welcome to the demo. We're gonna do today, we're gonna start off with Modi Fleece. Modi Fleece is our newest membrane. It's, in this case, we're gonna go cover sheet. So we're gonna adhere it to an existing mod bit. This is this mod bit. It can also be used over existing lightweight and several other substrates, but we're gonna show you this one right here on existing mod bit.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see the roll, again, this is a mod bit fleece back. This is the bottom of the membrane. You see this fleece, the rolls cup on a plastic wrap, like this roll right here. So they have a little bit of protection to the weather, but you always gotta make sure you cover it up with a tarp, you put it on a pallet, because you don't want this felt to get wet. If it get wet, you gotta wait to dry, and I don't know how long it's gonna take. So make sure you cover it up and you store it on the roof. Now I'm gonna show you how the roll looks like. Thank you.
And Allie, looking at the fleece in the back. As they're, I'll let John Luca go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you see the fleece back, and here you see a black strip of asphalt. This is self-adhere compound. This is our Seal Up Ultra that is gonna give you a really good bonding the next sheet, okay? The top surface, it's a film surface. Probably who is familiar with Elastoflex SAV, it's basically the same. You got ley lines, you got the 3, half a sheet. So it's really easy to cut, it's really easy to align the sheets. You really look for the line and you see if you're creaking a little bit. So they are really useful.
So as with most roofing, you're gonna wanna stagger. So being that this membrane ended over here, we're gonna use a full sheet on the edge. Because you wanna stagger your membranes on every roof that you encounter. The other thing is the layout. It's pretty, Modifleece being, it's a different type of membrane. And the seal lap is on the bottom end of it. Our next sheet is gonna lay on top of this. We're gonna line it up right on the 3-inch line. And you'll see as, you know, how we lay it up, we're just gonna do the 2 courses at a time so you can get it, and have any questions as we go along, just go ahead and please ask.
Yeah, as far as the substrate, of course, you gotta make sure the substrate is clean. Because we are gonna foam adhere over the top, so you wanna make sure you are grabbing on a good surface, okay? If this is already covered, you gotta make sure that you don't have any moisture trap underneath. So if you have any blister, you gotta make sure you cut them open and you patch it, and then you go over the top. I'm gonna open the next sheet because I wanna also show you how to do an end lap. So we are gonna align on the 3 inches overlap. Doesn't really make sense to overlap more than that because the Seal Up Ultra, the side lap, it's only 3 inches. So if you're going to 4 inches, you are losing basically 1 inch. So 3 inches, just make sure you are aligned, okay? I'm gonna open the next sheet. And of course, we pre-cut these pieces, but when we are using Modifleece, we are not looking to overlap when you have this condition, this end lap, okay? Because we have this. So what we're gonna do is button up the 2 joints, as I'm doing right here. And then we use, for all our accessories on Modifleece, regular SAV, Elastoflex SAV, which you can cut it from the roll, but we also sell Elastoflex SAV flashing strips, inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, 13 inches. For this particular detail, we want to use the 9-inch strips. Okay. Now, look at the strip I already cut. I'm gonna make sure that this edge is flush with this edge, the strip I cut. And here, I want to make sure I have always minimum 3 inches past the edge of the membrane, because I want to make sure that this detail on this point is sealed properly. Okay. Now, yes, please. As you see here, I have these 90-degree corners. I don't like the 90-degree corners, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna round the corners. Nothing crazy. It just made the adhesion better, or if you have a 90-degree corner, it's always possible to lift up that corner or it get deformed a little bit. So if you cut that corner, you're never gonna have that issue.
It's easier to kick up a little rounded, a little square corner. It tends to curl up at the edge. Just eliminates it, just makes it a smoother transition throughout the membrane.
Okay, right here, since we are applying the membrane without foam yet, I just score the release film with the back of my knife. All right, so I know it's right here. I'm gonna score the release film. Because what I'm gonna do next is removing the film.
which is not always difficult with hands that are gloved. Got it. There you go.
All right, so make sure it lays down flat. And when you get here, make sure you're not removing those 3 inches of film. All right. This is what we want. And then as for all our self-adhere membrane, you gotta apply pressure. 4 inches hand roller, that's enough. And you make sure you apply even pressure on the entire joint.
You're gonna see why he didn't take the release film off, because now we're gonna actually open up the membrane to expose the existing mod bit underneath, where we're gonna apply the adhesive to it.
So we're gonna open it up, only half a sheet and half a sheet this side. Always make sure that the roll doesn't move on you, okay? So now I have this entire area where I can spray the foam, and I don't need to care about the side lap. If I'm spraying just a roll, I gotta be careful about the overspray. In this situation, also, if I spray a little bit more, I'm gonna spray on the felt, which is totally fine. Thank you.
Ask if they're gonna, anybody want to volunteer? Spray some foam?
Yeah, come on out.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So start it off.
yeah. I'm gonna show you, let's
Okay.
say, until here, and then you go back and you do the rest. So we are gonna apply the foam not on a ribbon pattern, but on a splatter pattern. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna stay a little bit far away from where I wanna spray, and you'll see the coverage we are looking at.
That's what you're looking for, just a spatter pattern. Yeah, so it's as if you were watering your lawn. The tip is made to spread the foam out, the adhesive out. So you're spraying across the sheet, trying to get as far as, as far underneath those rolls as possible, because you're not going to have access to them when you fold them back over. So just make sure you got a nice even coverage throughout the spray area. And have a rag ready. Also the tip, if you stop using the adhesive for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute, you're going to want to swap the tip out, because it's mixed in the tip, the part A or B components. So they're mixed in here. So if it's mixed in there and you're spraying it after it had started, it's already cured, you're not going to get out the right ratio from the gun at that point.
Yep, we're gonna spray, and if not, that is gonna cure. So are you ready?
At it.
Yeah, put the hose on.
Jessica with WeatherGuard Roofing, thank you for volunteering. Nice.
Move a little bit faster. There you go.
Watch your back.
I think you've done it before.
That's
I think you've
perfect.
Done it before. Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, go for it.
Yep.
I have no fear.
Ah,
Great. Thank you.
nice.
Okay. So you want to let it sit for a little bit, not too long, not too, you don't want to turn it over too quickly either, but in this heat, you don't have a lot of time. Everything's activating a lot quicker. So we're gonna hand flop.
We're gonna start from the center and then let it go. So the gravity is gonna do the job for us, and you are not gonna have any wrinkle. Always step on the membrane so it doesn't move on you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Gentlemen, what about overspray? Are you worried about overspray?
If you do the butterfly technique, which is what we just did, you are not gonna overspray on the. I mean, you can overspray on the felt, but that's not a big issue. Okay. Then you're gonna see we're gonna apply some pressure, so we're gonna spread the foam evenly between the felt and the substrate.
Any questions from so far? Yeah.
I have a question on the end. I know usually on the overhang, I know usually they have to leave an inch overhang. So you do that.
On the edge, on the perimeter, well, you'll have a detail there. You're gonna do a drip edge, so you're gonna have a strip there, another, whatever, and then the cover of it. So it's gonna. This isn't the full detail. This is literally as we're just working in the middle of the field. But if you want those details, we can show you that later.
So if for the audience out there, the question was, usually isn't there an inch overhang? And how does that work in the details? And what we're finding is this is not exact. But great question.
All right, so now we are ready to remove the
Seal up.
seal up ultra.
In the factory or the manufacturing plant, this is pretty cool.
Is,
Oh wow.
And roofing, you know, the devil's in the details.
Right. So when you do the seal, John Luca, when you do the seal lap along with this spray foam or the adhesive, this isn't going anywhere.
No, absolutely. The foam takes a little bit to set up, meaning it can take from half an hour to an hour, depending on the temperature. But after that, it's not going anywhere.
So cool.
Okay. Really important detail, don't forget to remove this film. All right. It sounds easy, but sometimes it's not. There you go. And here again, make sure you apply some pressure. I want to roll it before.
Oh, ready?
Yeah.
Any questions before we bring up our next participant? Megan, any questions from the out there? Okay, please know the chat. Ask any questions as we're going along.
The adhesive is down, membrane's in place. So we're gonna show you how to roll it now. Obviously, it's not a self-adhered product, but we have the adhesive there. So now we want to spread the adhesive through every single nook and cranny that we have available to us. What we're using here is a 35-pound weighted split face roller. There are 75-pound uses as well, or even a push broom, but this for us gave us the best results, is what we like the best, a 35-pound roller. It's like the sweet spot.
Yeah, yeah. It's still acceptable if you want to roll it with a 75, but if we can choose, let's say we recommend to use the 35.
It's our favorite. The motion is basically the same as doing a self-adhered, just a W back and forth across the sheet, across the short side of the sheet, trying to get the membrane and the adhesive to be fully bonded. So you don't miss anything.
I know you both South Florida and a lot of hurricanes.
Yeah, so I think the wind uplift pressure, the testing pressures that are in our product approvals are outstanding for this product, especially over lightweight concrete decks.
Yeah, when you were talking about the lightweight concrete deck, that was
Yes.
really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a game changer in the lightweight
Yeah.
circle. Yeah. Like,
I know.
Anybody else want to spray?
Come on.
Don't be shy. Come on
Okay,
up.
we're bringing Heather is coming up. Megan, what's our question? We have this come in. Okay, hold on. Hello. Okay, here we are.
Have you sprayed adhesive before? Okay, so
Okay.
basically it's just, there's the trigger. Pull back and just go. all
Hold
the
on,
way
we're gonna
around.
answer your question just one second, unless
Right.
Alex answers. Okay, we're gonna, to Henry, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be here, but
Henry, we have a quick question for you.
Yes.
When spraying the foam, do you have to worry about the spray foam aerosols traveling in the air and perhaps coating a vehicle close by?
Absolutely. You always consider the wind. It's absolutely a valid question. So yeah, you want to check that. Want to make sure that you're not doing it in high winds, or it'll get away from you a little bit. You can overspray an awning or part of the building, so you don't want that. But yeah, so if it's on high winds, yeah, definitely be careful.
So be cautious with
Be
the
cautious of it.
understanding of that. What's going on.
Absolutely.
Heather, great job. You're a pro.
mhm.
There we go.
Yes,
Okay.
but same
That was
technique.
quick.
Now, perfect. Keep those questions coming. That was a great question on the overspray. So ladies, anybody else want to get up here and get out here and help? I think they're going to have more coming your way. Yeah, come on. You need some gloves, so Gianluca, we have our next person. Can they help with the rolling?
Yes.
Okay,
Rollers over there.
okay. And Tara, right?
Tara, yeah.
Tara, which company are you with?
All type roofing services.
All Type Roofing Services. We heard about your family business this morning. Very cool. Okay, let's see it.
He's gonna roll out the adhesive. I don't know if you want to try that too. I got free labor here. Let's go for it.
I think we just want to
Wanna
kind
roll
of show that this is just not a man's world on the roof anymore, is it? This is something that anybody and everybody can be doing, and we want to be bringing them into the industry. I know, Tara, how is it?
You have a question? No, here we are good as far as the T-joint. We are fine.
I got you.
This is sealed right here, and this is covered up by the next course, meaning this sheet. So the envelope is done. Okay, you just remove the film. Make sure you pass. I would recommend to pass the roller on the T-joint so you make sure everything is tight. Okay.
Want to pull the tape? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the butterfly. The other
this
side,
back?
yes.
Yeah, bring it up over to the top of the half. There you go. And this one, we're gonna bring
There
it
we
back
go. Come on.
to the top meets the bottom. Oh, it's stuck. That's why
It's
it's not
stuck,
going
yeah.
any further. It's already adhered.
All right, are you ready to spray?
Sarah got more than she bargained for.
Let me change the tip.
Again, it didn't spray for a little while, so to make sure you get a good ratio of A to B, he's gonna swap out the tip again because of the mixed cartridge. This way, you know, you have a good amount and good cartridge flow through the hose. I believe it's 10 in a bag, like a box. It comes with a little tool, a little wrench to tighten the hose to the cylinders, and a lubricant for the orifices on the edge of the gun.
All right, with the shoulder.
Yes. It depends on how much you're spraying. If you're constantly spraying, you don't have to change it. If you do stop for, you know, in weather, about 30 seconds, a minute, you're gonna want to swap it.
So the question was, how often do you have to switch out the tips?
How often do you
Yeah.
have to switch it out? Yeah. So go for it.
Okay.
Watch your shoes.
Okay.
Off the back.
Yeah. I think you'd have to put this in the category of so
Perfect.
satisfying, right? Just,
That's it.
whoa.
Thank you.
Good job.
Nice.
So we'll just let it sit for a sec before we actually throw the membrane
Nice
back onto
job.
it.
Nice job.
Again, remember the spatter pattern, it's a little tricky to get started. I think the nozzle was on a little weird because you do see like a little bit of a ribbon pattern here. You should really shouldn't be seeing. It should be just more like an even spatter pattern throughout, you know, edge to edge. And just, you know, like you're watering your lawn, just back and forth.
And once again, we're gonna apply some pressure. So we're gonna spread the foam. We went a little bit heavy here. Pump.
Okay, great. Thanks. So,
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, because it may not go down. So if you do see a lump there, it's, you know, it could telegraph through on the cap sheet. So you want to be, you know, aware of what you're spraying when you're spraying and make sure it's nice and even, as low as possible. The droplets, you know, are even and dispersed throughout the sheet. Somebody else had a question?
yeah, we have one over here. From Virtual Land, it is what is the minimum and maximum pitch the product can be used?
Okay, well, minimum pitch, you want a positive drainage on any roof. So, anything from a 1/4 inch, 12 to, even an 1/8, but you want positive drainage is the important factor in that question. As far as the maximum pitch, what are we looking at? 2,
Like
2 and 12.
Class A, it's 2.
Yeah, if you need a class A, it's 2, a UL class A fire rating. Yeah, at that point, whatever, yeah, you just
Yeah.
make sure you have to back nail it if you're using fasteners that are on a steep slope, and just be aware of that.
Okay, and we had a question down here. I just want to make sure we caught that for the audience. You
Oh,
had
it
a
was
question about the bumps?
the extra foam showing
Oh,
on
the
the
extra
bump there.
foam.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just be sure that when you're spraying the adhesive, it's spread out as even as possible, not creating lumps, because they could telegraph through the membrane and you probably see it on your cap sheet.
Hey Heidi, I just wanted to interject. This is Ally.
Yeah.
One of the things, minimum or maximum slope, it's a great question, but really this product was designed for low slope applications. So if we get into steep slope land,
We have
we've
other
gone too far.
products.
Uncharted
Yeah,
territory.
we have a lot of other products to meet your needs there. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this is for low slope commercial applications. And we also wanted to know, and this is from Ryan Kearney, is that the largest appropriate roller? So can you use different size rollers or?
You can use a 75-pound roller if that's what you have. That's fine. The 35-pound roller is what we're using here. We like that. It tends to disperse the adhesive a little better for us. We did individually. We did our own testing. Aside from the engineering, and we saw that those results were better. You could, in a desperate situation, even use a push broom, but you're gonna have to push down on it, make sure you get enough pressure where you're dispersing the adhesive enough.
Excellent, excellent.
She had a question?
Yes.
Or how clean the back needs to be, like, I know.
Good roofing service. So the question was, how clean does this surface need to be? And yes, and any good roofing practices is make sure that your substrate that you're sticking your finished roofing to is completely clean, dry, free of dust, dirt, debris. If say you have to go off the job site for, I don't know, a month, a week or whatever, if we had every penetration sealed, if we had your wall flashings installed and sealed, it could be watertight. It would be considered watertight, but the top surface is not UV stable. So you'd have to come back, clean it all off, prime it, and then you're ready to go again.
All the wall flashings, patches over the top of multi-fleece are gonna be done with Elastoflex SAV. Okay, so self-adhere base sheet. Yeah. As far as wall flashing, always keep in mind, you always want to prime that wall. We have PT
Walls,
100
always prime them.
or WB 3000. Those are the 2 options we have, or also Polytac for contractors that are working up north. So on top of multi-fleece, what can we do? We have generally 2 options. We gotta install a cap sheet, but we can decide if we want to go with a self-adhere cap sheet or a torch cap sheet. We didn't know which one to show you, so we're gonna do both. All right, we're gonna start with self-adhere.
The audience out there, I do want to know, this is a coatings talk, so you may be wondering, where are the roof coatings? But we wanted to show the spray adhesive. We want to show you alternatives also. That these are great alternatives, but there is a whole plant out here at Polyglass making coatings, and they also down in Texas. So just if you're kind of wondering that inside your head, there we go. We also may have a couple questions that are coming through that we're going to get back to you on. So you should be getting some texts and some comments back in writing, and we will be following up on those, just so you know. Okay, gentlemen, what are we doing now?
Yeah, we open just a little piece, and another piece is coming of Polyfresco AG. Again, bottom self-adhere compound. Over the top, we have still granules, but as you can see, we have a bright white pure technology on top that is going to give you that reflectivity.
Kind of like a coating.
Really important with self-adhere is for sure make sure the substrate is clean once again. So if you have anything, or you have an area where you're not sure, you have some dust, prime it. If you're not sure that you got some dust on it and you see that the color is not good and you're not gonna have a good bonding, you can prime it with PG 100. Okay. Yeah.
Or if you find these kind of roofs out there, this is where the coatings can also come in on maintenance, repair, and possible restoration, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that's another really important point. Maintenance on the roof. It's required for any warranty, but it's really, really strongly recommended because it's gonna save your roof. Talking about self-adhere cap sheet, here once again we have an end lap, which is always a tricky detail. We want to make sure that you guys know how to do it, and on each end lap we want to make sure we cut 3 45-degree corner. One is this one. One is this one right here. And on the next sheet, is gonna be this one right here. Okay. The only one I'm not cutting is the one that we are gonna leave. This can stay. Okay. This is gonna cutting those 3 45-degree corners is gonna make the water. It's gonna be harder for the water to find a way to enter on those spots. Okay.
Basically, the other thing would be,
Yep.
if this was at a 90-degree angle over to the edge, you have a little bit of a bridge there. It's a tiny little pinhole where water could back up into there. So we did to just get rid of that bridge by cutting this angle off. It took him, what, 2 seconds to do that. And it's peace of mind. You know you're gonna be solidly bonded to this edge right here, this corner here, and on the third course coming up across the top.
Okay. For
What's with the fast lab? He did mention the fast lab. I don't know if you guys can actually see it because it's kind of coated. This is a granule-free area. It comes pre-made. It's pre-made that way, so you can bond right to it without having to embed your granules or adding sort of adhesive to it. It's covered in there. It is. Now you can see it probably better than you could before. I was like, yeah, we're used to seeing it. I don't think everybody is familiar with the product, so I just want to point that out. It's there in place, and like I said, once we take this release film off and we bond to there, we're solid.
okay, for not familiar with our self-adhere membrane, the bottom of the membrane has 2 release films. Okay, that's to make it easier to remove those films. So every time I'm gonna those film, I'm gonna pull for 50, make sure that everything lays down flat. And on a 45-degree, you're gonna staying always down so you don't trap any air in between the cap sheet and the base sheet in this case. Okay, same on the other side. Okay, I can always apply some pressure, especially here at the edge.
Any questions, ladies? Not yet? Okay, we've been having great questions, just to say. It's been awesome.
Oh, here the end lap. In this case, we have the fast lap, okay, which is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be normally 5 or 6 inches. If you don't have the fast lap, 6 inches is required all the time. Okay.
This is the fast lap's already pre-made for you. It measures about 5 inches. Just bring the edge of this overlapping membrane right to the edge of that. You don't want any exposed salvage edge. You don't want any exposed UV supported membranes. So, but you don't also want to get on top of the granules either. So it's kind of it's a fine line. You want to just get it almost perfect.
And Fast Lap, wasn't that a technology created by Polyglass?
Yeah, it's a feature that we have on our premium membranes,
Yes.
and it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of manpower or errors that sometimes you're embedding the granules, you end up actually scraping the membrane off and making it thinner in those areas, and which is you're paying for a full roof, get a full roof.
Right.
Just embed the granules, put them in. In this case, they're ready to go for you.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm ready to remove the film.
Anybody want to try?
Want to try somebody?
Take some release film off.
Anybody? Come on out. Pull. Okay, there we go. Goodbye. Yes.
All right.
So you're gonna stand on the membrane so you make sure it doesn't move. Remove 3-4 feet, and then you can grab the film and pull it from thing down. There you go. Make sure you got some feel. There you go. Okay. Lay down, then step back.
Careful your step.
Uh,
If you want to step off of
Nice.
it, I'll take the rest because you're stepping on it. You won't get it out. All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Good job.
pretty easy. Yeah.
Stay as long as the hot sun, I don't know about
No,
that.
you're right. That's not easy.
This is another method. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is another method of taking off the release film. You can simply just flop it over. It's really helpful when you're on the perimeter of a building, you know, you're 60 stories high, you don't want to actually work on that side. You can take the membrane away from you, release the film, and then slap it back in place. So say it's a flop.
Henry, with the heat, especially the heat in, Arizona, Florida, everything,
Uh-huh.
are there any special precautions you need to do with this product compared to if you're in the north with cooler temperatures?
So he's going to help it adhere faster
Faster.
and more. The release film, like right now, it's sitting right now. If I had not taken off the release film, the hotter it gets, it may actually activate and be a little more difficult to remove. So if that does happen, kind of cover it, turn it over, roll it on, put it in the shade for 15 minutes, and then it should be ready to go again.
Interesting.
all right. If you have a full roll, it's maybe better if you do it with 3 guys,
People,
one in the center, because we always gonna go with the center first. And then let it go. So it lays down flat, no wrinkles, no anything. Right?
A thing of beauty, man. That looks great.
Yep.
Got a question from Ryan Tierney. What is the reflectivity rating of this particular cap sheet? This is our polyfresco line, and this has an SRI of 96, so it is an extremely high reflectivity rating for a modified cap sheet.
Gianluca, hold on 1 second. Did we get the answer? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. When you roll the membrane, we always recommend to roll the membrane in this way. So in case you have any little air pocket right here, it's way easier to push the air in this way rather than for the entire length of the roll. So always roll in this way. Normally you want to start from the center of the roof and you work your way out.
I think I'm gonna sleep all day tomorrow.
Now with polyfresco, we have this high reflectivity. We always want to make sure you add positive drainage. I would recommend 1/4 of an inch will be the grade, because if not, you're gonna lose that reflectivity, right? Because you're gonna accumulate some dust. It's not gonna be good.
white half sheets. On the surface, the standard white of the industry, it's going to reach what, about 140, 130 degrees, even more, depending on the heat and how much sun is hitting it. This kind of maxes out at about 113 degrees. So you can literally touch it and you're going to feel some heat. So the reflectivity is what keeps it cool. So let's say you want to put in I don't know, a covered Florida room in the back. It could theoretically lower the temperature inside that structure.
All right.
All right, really?
Now we're gonna show you, as I said, also a little bit of torch. Get ready to torch because we are gonna ask you guys to torch. So this is our Polyflex G.
It looks gray here, but this is technically white. That's the price, that's the difference between your standard white in the industry and the polyfresco.
And when we're done with the demo, you guys can come here and feel free to touch the membrane. Of course, this is gonna be torched. We're gonna wait about an hour and a half to cool down, but this is gonna be way cooler than this one. Okay, once again, also on the torch membrane, we have this end lap, which is called fast lap without granite. Again, as Henry said, it also makes the adhesion better because you don't have to granite. You have asphalt with asphalt. That's going to be
Yes.
Ah, perdón. No te duermas.
Okay, so we're gonna get some folks here who wants to torch down on this cool day. There we go. We got a lot of people who want to wield some flame. Okay. Kelly and Kelsey, as you're looking at this, isn't it?
Ton here in Florida, ton in South Florida.
Yeah.
It is. It's still, you know, it's still a tried and true technology that people are comfortable with. However, the longer our self-adhered has been in the market, I think we're winning those guys over.
Yeah.
The reality is, from a safety standpoint, you can torch safely, and we want you to torch safely, but self-adhered really removes that open.
With everything. Torching has been around for centuries,
Yes.
right? And so that it is something that's gonna change as we go along, but I think everybody needs to be aware of it, even with the times and the technology starting to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Polyglass, we make an incredible torch.
Yeah.
So, we want to be able to offer all of our products regardless of what you prefer.
And put them through.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you have questions, if you have anything, keep asking them. They're coming in through Megan's reading out for us, and we're also taking questions from the audience here as we go along. You know, I wanted to, while they're getting ready there, I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between the bright white and the white, which does look great to me, I have to say. That's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. So we actually have three white cap sheets now.
Yeah.
The Polyfresco has been around for a while, and that's by far our brightest cap sheet. Like Ali had mentioned earlier, it gets an SRI of 96.
Yeah.
Whereas the white, and this is the industry white, it really is gray, but
It's white.
in the industry, that is considered the white. That's going to have, you know, an SRI of 25 or 30.
Yeah.
And then we have one in the middle now, which is our bright white. It's not our Polyfresco. And that's going to have an SRI of 80.
I think. SRI, Solar Reflectance Index?
Yes.
Is that right? There you go, just in case you were wondering. Okay, gentlemen, are we ready?
Ready.
Almost ready. Here it comes. Ah,
That's for combining an SA with torch product. We still have the seal up covered with the tape, so we're just removing that now.
that's so great. Probably something you wouldn't normally do in the field.
Sorry?
You normally wouldn't put these two together in the field.
Not really.
No.
No, you would just have an existing one of these to keep going.
But for demo purposes, this is pretty cool.
All right, so here we're gonna torch a little bit. So we're gonna have some fun, but we're gonna play with fire, okay? So we gotta make sure we have all the safety needed. We have fire extinguisher always here. We're gonna make sure we cover all our arms. So you can have a long sleeve shirt. That's totally fine. But again, careful because we are playing with the fire. All right. Now, when it comes to torching, there are multiple ways. You go in the field and every guy is torching a little bit different or really different. That depends. Okay. So I'm gonna torch a little bit, and then you guys tell me what you think. If I'm doing good, if I'm doing wrong, you guys are gonna tell me. What's my phone?
Let me get around you. Thing move. Beautiful, right?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, right? You got bleed out. It's stuck. No, no. Oh, we got
Why
thumbs
not?
down, man.
That's good. I always did it like that.
30 years
We're hearing no.
since he was 3.
Okay, no, no. This is the wrong way to do it because you're gonna leave that asphalt and you're gonna have the polyester that is in this membrane and whatever is the base sheet or the substrate without asphalt in between. So that is gonna be a weak spot. Okay, plus you may have some water sitting there, so it's not good. And it's also hard to see what you're doing, okay? Because when you're torching, you're always looking at the film. All right, we are looking at the film of the roll and also the film at the base if you have the base sheet with the film.
So the Polyglass brand membranes, the torch grade, they have a printed surface on the outside on the burn film. It's a burn film. It's got a little printing to it. So as you're torching, it starts degrading. It kind of gives you an indication that you're almost ready to start rolling. The key thing about when you're torching is constant movement. You don't want to stop and start, stop and start, because you're going to have voids, or, you know, you can have mole runs later on and things of that nature. You want to avoid that. You want a nice, even asphalt bed for the membrane to lie in and adhere to. So when you're kicking it like that, you can't really guarantee it.
So what I'm gonna do is go on the other side of the roll and use a hook. So I can pull this roll, okay? And I can take a look and look at the film, because when I'm torching, I'm always looking at the film. If it compromises, something like this, I need to see the film compromised, okay? Now, there are multiple ways
Right on time.
to torch the membrane also on this side. Normally, unless you're torching the first course, you're gonna do a L motion. So you're gonna torch a little bit the lap and the rolls. So normally divided in 6 points, which is gonna be 1, 2, 3 on the base sheet, 4 on the cap sheet, 5 and 6 go back. Okay, this is the L motion. Now here we have a self-adhere cap sheet. So if I go really strong with the heat, I'm gonna burn everything. I'm probably gonna do the box motion, which is gonna be only here around the roll. Okay, but again, all I'm checking is that I'm gonna compromise that field. Ready? If I don't have a bleed out, you can always use a roller and apply some pressure. So you're gonna have a bleed out, because at all the side laps, we are gonna look for about an eighth to a quarter of an inch of bleed out. So if you have a consistent bleed out, I'm sure that that lap is sealed, okay? So again, torch, it's easy, but it takes some practice, okay? Ready to get some practice? I'll be with you, so yeah. Oh, sorry, I step on.
Yeah, you want to step around. Just be careful with the flame.
Yeah.
It is.
Come
You
on.
probably noticed the
Good.
camera angle changed just a
Yeah.
little bit, and that's because our camera overheated.
The fridge.
And it's in the fridge. So, but you're still watching on the laptop. So, but if it has changed, that's why, you know, we got to move with how things go around here. And
Hold on,
so
let me
just,
remove the
as Sue,
Plastic.
is up there with Beasley Roofing, just, I want you all to think how hot it is up there for Gianluca and Henry and Sue.
I'm gonna remove the plastic of the fast lap.
Sue,
But
have
make
you ever
sure
done this
that it
before?
doesn't stick.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh, don't let me re-roll it.
Gonna roll it up to where he starts feeling resistance, so he knows he's got to the to where the mastic or the asphalt rather is bonded to the deck at that point.
I'm gonna remove this one.
On our hybrid system here.
Again, this is normally not happening on the field because it's either you're doing a
Also.
fully self-adhered cap sheet or a full torch cap sheet. Okay, ready?
All right, have you done this before? Okay, so before you even get close to it, go ahead and pull the trigger, feel how much force is coming out. It's not like there's no kickback or nothing, but you know, you'll appreciate it.
Okay, and you always keep going with the torch. With the hook, you kind of go here on top so you can control it. Because if you go here, you're not having a good control. So always kind of right here. Okay, try it. Yep.
All right. Just go
Yeah, so basically, again, it's gonna be that's it. Pulling the roll. Yep. Try to use both end, hook and the torch at the same time.
Down, so you have to kind of keep control of it.
Yeah, exactly. With this, you can just stop the roll. Okay.
One more time. Alex.
Yep. See, this is what happened when you overheat a little bit. See, the granules are sinking into the cap sheet. That's because it's too hot. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Good job. Thank you.
Now you'll notice on the bright white polyfresco, you're gonna see a little bit of scorch marking on the outside. It's gonna be normal. You're gonna get some of that because it's such a bright white finish. It's just scorching from the roll below it or after it. Some of it will go away on its own. But if you have a more a picky customer who's gonna want to say something immediately, we do offer the detail kit, which is basically the same product that makes the cure technology on the membrane or the polyfresco in a bucket. So you just put it on a sprayer, light sprayer, mist it, back roll it, and it'll be bright white the entire finish.
So for those watching, we are past the hour where we usually would be ending, but we're not going to. We're going to keep going, but this will be on demand if you have to get onto your next meeting. So for those who can stay tuned. We're going to do a little bit more welding here. And then we may be getting out of here because believe it or not, we've got lightning on the forecast. So that will be next. Great old Florida. Yeah.
Are pulling it. Yep. You're gonna try to work with this with both ends, meaning yeah, torching and pulling. Torching and pulling. Now here, make sure you go out here. Yeah, the torch a little bit here. That's it. And here you apply pressure. Okay, see the nice bleed out?
So since we are close to being at the end of our demo, yes?
Yeah,
Can I ask you a couple questions while you're up here?
sure.
So we have a question on what's the one thing for every crew, as you're taking this back, some nuggets, what's the one thing for every crew that they should be taking home back to the job site from this demo today?
Sure. Well, we touched many products, but definitely T-joints, meaning all the end laps are really important. I do many observation on the jobs, and sometimes I find that T-joints are a weakest point. So maybe spend 2 minutes more on a T-joint will save you from a leak.
Yeah.
Cut those dog ears.
Yeah.
Simple half a second procedure that can save you an hour later.
Yeah.
So it's better roofing, better roof practice, and just the way it should be done.
And put it together. So one quick question for the ladies who are here, and we're gonna have a lot of young ladies coming up in trade schools and vocational schools. In fact, we're gonna have some competing 2 weeks at Skills USA. Anybody can do this, right? This
With
used
practice, anybody.
it used to be that it was kind of a man's world, but
Oh,
now
sure.
it's women have the detailed touch, as you can see from here today, what was happening.
Yeah, we did a demo
Absolutely.
for the marketing team, and we had some ladies on the marketing team that torched better than I did at that demo. Perfect
love
bleed
that.
out. It was
Yeah.
and the first time they touched the torch. Made me feel bad about myself, but they did a good job.
I love it. Well, we are going to be getting lightning here, so we're going to bring this Coatings Talk to an end. Megan, if you can make sure everybody's mics are on, I just would, and Allie and Kelsey and Marie, if you can come out.
Yep.
I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for the great demo. Thank you for all the volunteers. Woo! If you have questions, of course, go to my directory, get a hold of us at Coatings Coffee Shop and Roofers Coffee Shop. If someone wants to come to Poly School, how do they do it?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, if you know your sales rep from Polyglass, contact them. If not, go to our website, polyglass.us, look for Poly School and fill out a query form, and that's it.
It's that easy.
That
We're
easy.
going to get out of the storm. We will see you next week or next month on Coatings Talk.
Thank you.